So I've been getting a lot of questions about the correct score part of the football trading simulator, and getting this correct score market into the simulator was no mean feat. We thought it was impossible at one point. So I know a lot of people have got the simulator and it's just there and it works and it looks easy, right? But this was very, very hard to do. But anyway, it's great that we've done it, because testing out correct score strategies on the actual Betfair markets is not all it's cracked up to be. If you just have a look for here, for example, look at this correct score market on this match. It's not really full of money. So if we wanted to test a strategy out on this particular match, it's probably going to be quite unreliable. And so you've got to wait for those high liquidity matches before you can even begin to test a correct score strategy. So if you're going to find a dream correct score strategy, it's going to be quite long in the making, because you've got to wait for those high liquidity matches. But anyway, now you don't. Okay, we've got it here on the correct score market, and this is going to be very fun for myself actually going forwards, testing this out, because I reckon there's a lot of gold in that correct score market. Now, if you're going to be using any sort of correct score strategy, here's a quick tip, is that you want to make sure it has some sort of purpose. Okay, we don't want to get involved in this complex correct score market just to try and achieve something we could have just achieved in the match odds market, say backing the favorite or getting involved on the goal markets. Okay, why complicate things for nothing? So let's try and put something to the test here. And what we want to take a look at is, if we wanted to back this favorite in this match, in this J-League match, Kashima, could we possibly make a bigger profit backing them in the correct score market? So let me show you how this will work. So what we're going to do is going to back Kashima in the match odds market, £100, 95 profit potential. Now let's go to the correct score market and put in £100, but we're going to spread it over some correct scores. Okay, so we can back 1-0, we'll back 2-0, and then obviously we probably want to cover 2-1 and then the 3-1. Okay, and you can see the different profits that are available, okay, from this. But of course, we're going to be looking to trade out. And what we probably want to do initially, when you're trying any sort of strategy, we want to see what happens if we just trade out after that first goal, after Kashima take the lead. And we can get an idea of whether we would make better profit on the match odds, better profit on the correct score. If we make better profit on the match odds, then obviously the correct score strategy is pretty pointless, right? We may as well just stick to the match odds market. But anyway, the good thing about the simulator, we can run these both concurrently. Okay, so when we do get the goals, or we get Kashima to take the lead in the match, we can see the profit on the match odds market versus the profit on the correct score market, and then get more of an idea of which strategy or which approach is better. Okay, so anyway, let's move this forward. Let's move it forward to say 30 minutes and see where this stands in this match from the J-League. And so what's interesting is that after 30 minutes, it is still 0-0. You're looking at minus £10 red screen on the match odds market, but minus £2 red screen on the correct score market. So little bit of an advantage for the correct score market there. Okay, if we did want to exit out, we could just take a smaller loss. So a little bit of an advantage there. Let's see how this looks at half time. If we just move it forward. And so, again, that's kind of interesting. Look, the match odds market, we're looking at a £17 red screen if we were to exit here. But the correct score market's still not bad, okay? It's only a minus £5 loss if we did just want to exit, okay? Main reason for that is because, remember, we backed 1-0, which has moved in now to 5.4 to lay. I can't remember the price we backed it at. You could rewind the video to check it out. And 2-0, has that moved in? In fact, you know what? We can move the match clock and just have a quick look at this. Okay, so that 1-0, we backed that at 10, and then 2-0 we backed at 11. Okay, so those two prices moving in is what's helped us not stare at such a big red screen at the halftime 0-0. Okay, so that's interesting, and obviously we're looking at the simulator to just give us ideas of whether we can get a bigger edge out of the correct score market. Now, let's just try and see who takes the lead and if we can just get the first goal in this one. And then we can draw some bigger conclusions. Okay, so the favorite, the team we are backing, has taken the lead. Kashima have taken the lead 1-0 at 63 minutes, okay? So on the match odds market, we can lock in £51 of profit. But on the correct score market, we could actually lock in £78 of profit. It's the same £100 risk, but a bigger profit is available in the match odds market if we were to just cash out from here, which is interesting. Okay, it does not necessarily mean that the correct score market is better than the match odds market, because if there was an early goal, it might not have made such a bigger profit. Okay, and so testing the different goal times, that's something you would have to do when you get the simulator yourself. You can go through it, see what a goal after the 10th minute, goal after the 30th minute, what difference does it have on the cash outs. Okay, I do kind of guess that if we had the goal in the first half, we might have had a bigger cash out available on the match odds versus the correct score. But if you're getting a later goal in the match, then the cash out is bigger on the correct score. So kind of interesting to see. So let's just say we didn't take the cash out, and let's move this clock forward and just take a look and see what happens from here. So it goes to 1-1, so that's no good for anyone. And then let's just see if this match finishes 1-1. We go to the next goal. Okay, well, Kashima took the lead. Okay, and then so this is kind of interesting again. Okay, look, even if we left it, Kashima taking a late lead on the match odds market, £72 on the match odds market could be locked in here, but £142 could be locked in on the correct score market. Okay, more than double the price. All right, now I'm just doing this video just for a quick demonstration. Okay, I haven't really investigated this any further, but even to me, this is looking quite interesting and possibly worth further investigation. Okay, so yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's start this match again from the start, because I want to show you a different feature that we have on the correct score market simulator. And this is pretty cool. This is the ability to Dutch. So let's just try and cover those same score lines as before. So what was it? The 1-0. The 2-0, and then it was the 2-1 and the 3-1. Okay, so you would go to this left hand side and you would just tick on the boxes for the price, or the events, or the outcomes rather, that you want to Dutch. Okay, and we're going to use a £100 stake, so we can already see our total return Dutch in that is 191. Okay, that's before we place the Dutch. Now anyway, you click on place Dutch, and it's going to get that into the market, as you can see. So pretty cool thing that the simulator can do. And of course, there can be a lot of opportunities for some sort of Dutch trading. And one thing we always say, I mean, the more complex your strategy is, possibly the more chance you have of finding that dream strategy, because the more chance that no one else has thought of it. Anyway, let's have a look and just see how it plays out if we were to Dutch the correct score market versus, putting £25 on each score line, and kind of see how that plays out. Okay, so let's just move this forward to half time. We know it was 0-0 at half time in this particular match, and let's take a look. So this is interesting. So look, a 0-0 at half time. If we were on match odds, we're losing £17, but on the correct score market, well, you're actually gaining a few pounds. Okay, it's actually, you're not staring at a loss if it's a half time 0-0 in that situation. So that's interesting. Now let's just move it forward to the goal and see what that does if we were Dutching the correct score market compared to earlier. All right. Okay, well, that's interesting as well. Now, look, again, we still got that £51 of profit on the match odds market, but we could cash out £95 of profit on the correct score market, okay? And that is covering the 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, and 2-1. So that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. I thought the original way would have produced a bigger cash out, but it looks like the Dutching produces a bigger cash out. Okay, now anyway, this is all good because this just shows why it's so great to have software like this. Okay, if we wanted to try and find out these answers on the real Betfair market, well, we probably couldn't, right? We'd have to try and trade one match, see how that went. Then we wouldn't be able to trade the exact same match to try and see if a different approach would have made a bigger profit, right? That would be impossible. So we'd have to wait for a similar match to play out again in the future to really test it. But with this, as you've just seen me do, we can just go backwards, try a different approach, and we've got more answers. Okay, and like I said, I'm just messing around here, but I think we might be onto something with this Dutch in the correct score market. Okay, obviously, like I said, it's going to need a lot more testing than that. We'd have to try and see the impact of different goal times and all that sort of thing, and then different odds ranges and so on and so on. Okay, but anyway, this was just to give you an idea of how we can use the correct score market part of the simulator, because a lot of people haven't seen much of that in the videos that we've done so far, and I was getting a lot of questions about this yesterday, and so I just thought I'd put this video together for you to check out. So really cool stuff, and definitely worth having. Anyway, as we put this video out, it is available at the moment, but the doors will close midnight on Sunday. If you are interested in getting hold of the simulator software for yourself, then submit your email address below. There's still time to get in on the batch 1 opening. We are opening this in batches just to save all the potential support. I mean, yesterday was absolutely manic, but yeah, we're just doing it slowly so that we don't get totally overloaded, and even with that, we got kind of overloaded yesterday. But things are working much easier today, and if you are interested, just submit your email address below. If there are still spaces available, we'll email you back with further details. If not, we'll have to get you in on a later batch. Okay, but the doors will close at midnight on Sunday. For anyone watching this who has the invitation, then you have to take action before Sunday night. And I did have some questions about people wondering about just the mention of a separate correct score simulator and a separate first half simulator, and whether you could trade simultaneously. Okay, so when you get the Super Sim, you are getting the same simulator you just saw in this video, which will allow you to simulate all of the markets simultaneously. Okay, match odds, correct score, goal markets, and the first half markets as well. Okay, but what we're doing for anyone who does get the Super Sim is we're actually throwing in a correct score simulator on its own. Okay, so it's just a separate sheet with just the correct score market and the match odds market. And then similarly, we're also giving you the first half simulator as well, which is just for the first half market. And you might be thinking, well, why are you doing that? Okay, well, if you're just looking at just the correct score market, it's actually going to run a lot faster than the Super Sim. Okay, the Super Sim, every time you're loading up a match, it's going to have to load up every single market. Okay, but if you only want to look at the correct score market, then just use the correct score sheet and everything will load up a lot faster. You can get moving a lot faster, and similar for the first half simulator as well. Okay, and just to be clear, anyone who does get the Super Sim package also gets the original Super Deluxe simulator as well, which is featured in some of the earlier videos. Okay, but that was the same simulator that was available in March, which covers just the match odds and goal markets. So you also get that, okay, if you did want to just focus on just the match odds markets. Okay, just focusing on specific markets, you'll get a simulator which runs a lot faster. Okay, but if you want all the markets, then the Super Sim is where you're going to have to look. So I just want to clear that up because some people were wondering. But yeah, if you get the Super Sim, you're also going to get separate simulators for separate markets. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that clears it up. And like I said, overall, the whole thing's a genius bit of kit. I know a lot of people were very happy yesterday with just trying it out and trying a few different ideas. The beautiful thing about it is you might have some ideas in your mind, you might give them a go, and then you might quickly realize, whoa, this doesn't work at all. And then you just saved yourself a lot of money just by doing it like that. And then there's some ideas where you're like, whoa, okay, this has legs. And then you got to keep trying to collect that data to build up your confidence before you use it in the real markets. Okay. But anyway, any strategy idea in your mind, put it to the test using any of these simulators. And then, like I said, you don't have to risk your own money before finding out if a strategy works or not. Most importantly, you can save time, especially with the correct score simulator, as you saw in this video. Okay, you could do a whole month's worth of trading within just a few hours. What used to take months or years of testing to prove a strategy can now only take days. Okay, quite a remarkable breakthrough for us football traders. All right. Anyway, access is open at the moment for those in batch 1. If you're not in batch 1, submit your email address below to try and get in before that midnight Sunday deadline. If you miss that, there will be another batch at a later date, and we will just add you onto that list, and then you'll be contacted about that when the time arrives. Okay. Do we have any more videos? Yeah, there should be another really, really good video to watch. I think in this video we go over the Super Sim in general. So if you did miss that one, then check out this video, and I'll see you in the next video.